Hey guys, this is Miss Sarah. I'm back with my next lesson. Today we have chapter 9. So I'll start off with 9-1. And let me talk about a few things first. So chapter 9 and 10, it's basically all about trigonometry, which some of you guys have done in trigonometry class last year. And some of you guys did over summer in that trig class. So I would say this chapter 9 and chapter 10 is more like review, kind of quicker review. And good thing it's like you get a break from derivative and integrals for a little while. Alright, so chapter 9, and I'll start off with 9-1. And one more thing, so keep in mind this is just kind of review. Alright, I'm not going to go in detail. It's pretty much reviewing every single concept you needed to know to understand derivative and integral of these trig functions. I hope you understand. Alright, so let's talk about a few basic things. When I say trigonometry. So I hope you remember basically trigonometry is study of right triangle. So pretty much we learn about right triangles, the ratios, and all about that. Normally whenever there's an angle, so first thing, the base side is called the initial side, and the side that goes around the center point is called the terminal side. Okay, if this terminal side goes counterclockwise, which is this way, then this makes positive angle. So this angle, it would be a positive angle. But let's say if it goes other way around, which is clockwise, if it goes clockwise angle, then it would make a negative angle. Normally, when we talk about trigonometry in angles, so we have 4 different quadrants. So this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. So when I say first quadrant, it means the range for first quadrant is from 0 to 90 degrees. Second goes from 90 to 180. Third one, 180 to 270. And fourth one, the last one, would start from 270 and goes all the way to 360. Here you go. Well, let's say if I talk about negative angles, it's going to go clockwise. So it means now I would have 0 still here. So exactly at this point, it would be negative 90 degrees. 190 degrees here. It would be negative 270 degrees here. And back to this, it would be negative 360 degrees. If the angle goes in counterclockwise, it makes a positive angle. If it goes other way around, like opposite direction, it makes negative angle. All right. Few other things about kind of few vocab terms, I would say. So I hope you remember radian measure. Radian measure is just another way to measure angles. Normally we do it in degrees, but radian is just another way to do it. What is 1 radian equal to? Let's talk about that. So 1 radian is equal to 1 radius. Try understanding the difference. Why I said 1 radian is equal to 1 radius. It means whenever this arc length becomes equal to this radius length, it becomes 1 radian. Up to here, it would be 2 radian. Up to here, 3 radian. 4, 5, 6. So on entire circle, we have 6.28 radians. It means 6.28 radian is what? 360 degrees. And 180 degrees would be 3.14 radian. And another way to say 180 degree is equal to pi radian. Now the reason we call pi radian because 3.14 is same as pi in math. So that's just another way to say 180 degree is equal to pi radian. Okay, next, how do we do conversion? How do we switch radian into degree and degree to radian? Pretty much back and forth. Okay, in order to convert radian to degrees, or vice versa, degree to radian. So here's the clue. Here's the idea. What we do is we multiply. Sometimes we need to multiply by pi over 180. Sometimes we have to do a 180 over pi. Okay. Let's try understanding the logic. Which one works for what type? Let's say if I have something in radian, it's, let's say, pi over 2. That's my angle in radian. I'm trying to switch it into degrees. It means I'm trying to cancel pi and keep my answer in degrees. So how would you cancel pi? Well, do you think pi needs to be on the opposite side, or does it have to be on the same side? For sure, it has to be on the opposite side. So this would be my ratio to multiply. So I would take 180 over pi. Pi is going to get canceled out. So 180 divided by 2 is 90 degrees. There you go. And when it becomes degree to radian, so same idea. Think about this. You're trying to cancel degrees. So let's say I have something in degrees. I'm trying to cancel degree measures, so it means 180 needs to be on the opposite side and pi would be on the top. And once you simplify, my answer would be pi over 2 radian. Here you go. That's how we do conversion of radian to degree or degree to radian. Okay. I would say this was all about first section. Now let's move on to 9-2. Again, keep in mind, this is just a review. That's the reason I'm not spending too much time on every single concept. I'm trying to kind of like help you recalling those concepts, okay? All right, so 9-2. So this section talks about all different type of trig functions. Trig function. So total we have 6 different trig functions. I have sine, cosine, tangent. Then I have cosecant, secant, and cotangent. And every single function has a value. How do we find the value? So that's what we're going to talk about. So first of all, I hope you guys remember this abbreviation. So, toa. What does it mean? Let's talk about that. First one, so means S stands for sine. Sine is equal to O opposite over hypotenuse. C stands for cosine. It's equal to adjacent side over hypotenuse. Last one, tangent. Tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Here you go. That's just one way to remember all these trig functions. So once you know first 3, you know rest of those functions. So these are just like kind of reciprocal function. Sine goes with cosecant. You can just flip the fraction. That would be secant, a cosecant function. Cosine goes with secant, so you can just flip the fraction. That would be secant ratio. And if you flip tangent, that would take you to cotangent. That's just going to be the value. Okay, few other ratios. Other than saying opposite and hypotenuse, there's another way to write these ratios down. So let me show you that. So let's say sine. I know we can write opposite over hypotenuse. Yeah, that's one way. What did I do? What's that? Let me just put, it's HYP. Here you go. That's one way to do it. But let's say if you're looking at a unit circle and if you're looking at a triangle like this, and let's say the angle theta is here. If I look at my opposite side for this angle theta, so opposite means I'm talking about the y-axis. If I look at the adjacent side, it means I'm looking at x-axis. And if I'm looking at hypotenuse, which is this whole side here, that would be because I'm looking at in reference to a unit circle. So basically when I draw a unit circle, this line is nothing else. It would be the radius of that circle. So let's just write these ratios based off x, y, and r. So opposite side for this angle would be y and the hypotenuse would be r. So that's just another way to write this ratio. Let's say I have cosine. You know, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if I'm looking at adjacent side for this angle, so I'm looking at x-axis. So it would be x and radius, which is hypotenuse, would stay the same. And then I have tangent. Tangent theta would be opposite, which is y. Let me just write opposite over adjacent. it's y over x. And once you know these ratios, you can still figure out the reciprocals by just flipping the fraction. So you know cosecant theta would be r over y, secant theta would be r over x, and cotangent would be x over y. Here you go. And then you still needed to know those trig values for the most common angles, like 30 degrees, 0 degrees, 30, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. So you needed to know those values. I hope you guys have flashcard from last year. If not, I have another video. I'm going to post it on YouTube just to find a way, just to kind of cool trick to figure out entire table. So you can just you can just watch that video, and then you can figure out entire table, and then you can just make your own flashcard. All right. So for today, I guess this is pretty much all. So based off this information, you'll get homework assignment and just turn that in. All right. So this is pretty much all. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.